There will be no foolish wand waving or silly incantations in this class. As such, I don't expect many of you to appreciate the subtle science and exact art that is potion making. However, for those select who possess the predisposition, I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can teach you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death. Sorry, I wasn't able to keep that up for the entire lesson. Welcome students back to Hexxit Education. Today we'll be starting the first of our 2 episodes on double potions with the Project Zulu potions. And I must say this lesson gave me particular angst because it is essentially an extension of the normal vanilla potion system, which I find very complicated, and as such, I tried to express it in a way that would be most conducive towards your understanding it as well as my understanding it. And to that end, I have constructed our first textbook. This is Project Zulu Potions Made Easy. So, first and foremost, what is Project Zulu potions? Well, Project Zulu potions are potions that are made from the various drops that come from Project Zulu Beast, most notably that we have here. We have, well, the feathers are normal, but gills, talons, rabbit's feet, frog's legs, small and unhealthy hearts, both very useful. And a number of these you can find from various drops off of the Project Zulu beasts. You need these, and in addition to, when we get to it, these shiny baubles. If you happen to come across these in dungeon chests, do not throw them away. They are very valuable in potion making. So the inherent difficulty in Project Zulu, and the reason I had to do so much preparation work for this particular lesson, is that the recipes for Project Zulu potions are not found in the NEI. Unfortunately, they're just not integrated, unlike most of the vanilla potions which do exist in the NEI, despite having been created using the brewing system. That's right, Project Zulu potions are made using the brewing stand. Very important note, the version of Hexxit that we're using uses the older version of Project Zulu. For more recent versions of Project Zulu, they actually use customized brewing stands. For what we're doing now, we're dealing with the normal vanilla brewing stand. I do, however, give a disclaimer for this episode. I am going to give you a massive amount of information and not a lot in terms of actual experience, simply because of the depth that is required in order to make even the simplest potions in this, and also of the interactivity between various added ingredients. So let's dive right in, shall we? Okay, so the Project Zulu potion system within Hexxit is an expansion of the vanilla Minecraft potion making system. One important exception, as I mentioned before, the resulting potions are not included in NEI, so it makes it more difficult. The crafting ingredients, which are in the NEI, are generally dropped by Project Zulu beasts or in dungeon chests. There are 2 tiers of Project Zulu potions. Tier 1 begins with awkward potions from vanilla. So, first potion we're talking about today is the water breathing potion. This is created with awkward potion plus gills equals water breathing 3 minutes, plus redstone equals 8 minutes. This is the only change you can make. A glowstone is not affected, neither does fermented spider eye as they do in vanilla. So in general, when I refer to either plus R, I'm talking about adding redstone to the base recipe, plus G is going to be adding glowstone to the base recipe, and plus FSE is going to be referring to adding fermented spider eye to the base recipe, which in general reverses the effect of the potion. However, as we will see in the Project Zulu potions, that reversal is not always sort of easily graspable. It can be a little bit hard to predict. So, next potion we're going to talk about is the Thorns 1 potion. Awkward potion plus prickly powder or bark equals thorns. Now, bark is found of several mobs in Hexxit. However, prickly powder is made from cactus and pulp. Pulp is made simply enough, taking a piece of paper and turning it into 2 pieces of pulp. Easy enough. So you can combine this in the brewing stand, and you'll get yourself this particular recipe. that is thorns 1 for 45 seconds. If you add redstone at that point, you will get thorns 1 for 2 minutes. And if you add fermented spider eye at that point, you get resistance 1 for 2 minutes. Like I said before, not always apparent what the effect of fermented spider eye can be. So thorns goes to resistance. If you add glowstone to the base recipe, you get thorns 2 for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get resistance 2 for 22 seconds. And if you add fermented spider eye to the base recipe, you get resistance 1 for 3 minutes. Okay, next, cleansing potion. Now, cleansing potion, as far as I understand it, refers to removal of poison effects. And I think the way it works is that every few seconds, if you have a poison effect on you, it will cleanse it. My understanding, though, is that it only affects one at a time. So, for example, if just for say you happen to have a poison effect on you while you have a wither effect on you, it will only cure one of those at a time. So you'll have one, wait a few seconds, then cure the other one. Not ideal, and I don't believe it's quite as efficient as milk. However, it does last for a little bit longer, so you wouldn't have to keep chugging milk. You can just do the one potion, and it lasts for a fair amount of time. So, cleansing potion. Awkward potion plus powdered slush or glowing goo equals cleansing 1. So, powdered slush, which is this here, is made with milk, pulp, which we just talked about a moment ago, and black lichen. This is a drop of various things in Hexxit. You may also find this in dungeon chests in order to make the powdered slush. Or you can make glowing goo, which is made with milk, paper, and ectoplasm. Now, very important note, this is the ectoplasm from Project Zulu, as opposed to the ectoplasm from Harkenside, which we talked about in a previous episode, which is a rare drop off of the ectoplasm that occur around the spectral miner, also known as Herobrine's brother, also known as that big giant thing that tried to kill us in our biology lab. So, if you happen to find ectoplasm, you can combine it with milk or pulp, or if you happen to have some spare powdered slush, you can turn it into glowing goo using ectoplasm. By the way, ectoplasm is very common. You'll find it all over the place, especially if you happen to go up against haunted armors or any kind of spectral enemies. Okay, so if you awkward plus powdered slush or cleansing goo equals cleansing 1 for 45 seconds. If you add redstone, it equals cleansing for 2 minutes. If you add fermented spider eye at that point, you get curse 1 for 1 minute. Now, my understanding about curse 1 is that basically it instills a random poison effect. It could be poison, it could be wither. I'm honestly not certain about that, but it does give you a random effect for that duration. If you were to add glowstone to the base recipe, you get cleansing 2 for 2 minutes 15 seconds. And if you were to add fermented spider eye again, you get curse 2 for 22 seconds. If you were to add fermented spider eye to the base, you get curse for 45 seconds. So if, for example, you are on a multiplayer server and you wanted to grief one of your friends, make yourself a curse potion, then rename it using the anvil, and they'll get a nasty surprise, if you so choose. Next up, we have the haste potion. Awkward potion plus either a small healthy heart or a small unhealthy heart. As far as I can tell, there's no real difference between the two, other than you turn the small healthy hearts into unhealthy hearts by adding salt, which is made by taking gunpowder and running it through a crafting grid. So, small heart plus salt equals small unhealthy heart, or conversely, we'll get to in a minute. A large heart can be combined with salt and turned into a large and healthy heart. You get salt, as I said, from gunpowder turned into salt. In general, there are better uses for gunpowder than to make salt, but it's up to you if you choose to go that method. Okay, so awkward potion plus small healthy or unhealthy heart equals haste for 4 and 30 minutes. Now, if you remember, haste refers to increased either attack speed or more usually mining speed. So this is very useful when you're going down and doing the branch mining. If you add redstone, you get haste for 12 minutes. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get fatigue for 4 minutes. Or fatigue refers to mining fatigue, which makes mining much slower. If you add glowstone to the base recipe, you get haste 2 for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get fatigue for 45 seconds. If you add fermented spider eye to the base recipe, you get fatigue for 1 minute and 30. Okay, jump potion. This one's kind of interesting because it's one of the few potions you can actually make with vanilla ingredients. So, awkward potion plus either rabbit's foot, frog legs, or a feather gives you 3 minutes of jump 1. Now, rabbit's foot and frog legs are both just random drops off of various things in Project Zulu. I believe you'll find frogs most notably in swamps, and rabbits you generally find in plains. If I remember correctly, I've actually seen rabbits in Twilight Forest, but I could be misremembering that, so don't quote me on that. Okay, so if you add redstone to the base recipe, you get jump 1 for 8 minutes. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get slow fall for 8 minutes. If you add glowstone to the base recipe, you get jump 2 for 1 minute and 30. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get slow fall 2 for 1 minute and 30. So it's quite useful both as a jump aid and a slow fall aid. In general, I'm going to recommend you go with a slow fall until you happen to get your cloud boots, in which case you get slow fall X. So that's your choice. And if you add fermented spider eye to the base recipe, you get slow fall for 3 minutes. And in general, is the best. If you want to go for straight slow fall, you should go with the redstone to the fermented spider eye, which gives you 8 minutes of slow fall. Again, go for the cloud boots. You won't regret it, as we learned in our episode on the different armors. Okay, next up is Strength Potion. Now, this is made with an awkward potion and either a talon or a large healthy or a large unhealthy heart, which will give you strength for 3 minutes. If you then add redstone, you get strength for 8 minutes. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get weakness for 4 minutes. If you add glowstone to the base recipe, you get strength 2 for 1.5 minutes. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get weakness 2 for 1 minute and 30. If you add weakness to the base recipe, you get weakness for 1 minute and 30. So it's pretty much equal to if you add glowstone. Okay, the night vision potion, very, very useful. Awkward potion plus antennae. I believe this drops off several of the bugs in Project Zulu, most notably the ones that are in the desert. I think it drops off of this scorpion, but I'm not totally sure about that. This will give you 3 minutes of night vision, very useful. If you then add redstone, you get 8 minutes of night vision. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get 4 minutes of weakness. If you add glowstone to the base recipe, you get... So we actually have a typo in our textbook here. I apologize for that. If you add glowstone to the base recipe here, you actually get invisibility for 3 minutes. There's 3 full minutes of invisibility from this potion. If you then add fermented spider eye, you get weakness for 1.5 minutes. And if you add weakness to the base potion, you get fermented spider eye. You get weakness for 1 minute and 30. Okay, so we made it to Tier 2. Now, essentially, this is the same as Tier 1, which we just described with one exception. Tier 2 potions require a shining potion as a base, which is made with a shiny bauble and an awkward potion. So, how to make a shining potion. Awkward potion plus shiny bauble equals shiny potion. Shining potion gives you 45 seconds of torchlight. For those of you who, when you first started out Minecraft, you really wish that when you held your torch in your hand, it actually gave you torchlight around you, almost like it does in Don't Starve. This is your potion. Unfortunately, however, it is not affected by redstone or glowstone. Believe me, I tried. But you just get 45 seconds of torchlight, which is not terrible. However, shiny baubles are not that common. You can find them in dungeon chests. I wouldn't be surprised if you get half a dozen by the time you actually realize what they're actually used for. However, they're not common enough you can use them as a substitute for torches, unfortunately. Wish they were, but they're not. So, first in Tier 2, we have the Water Breathing 2 potion. Shining potion plus gills. Now, no, this is a different recipe than before. This is a shining potion instead of an awkward potion plus gills equals water breathing. Sorry about the typo. For 13 minutes. If you add redstone, then it extends it to 18 minutes versus water breathing. That is very useful. If you don't have a, I believe it's if you don't have a water breathing enchantment on your helmet, this would be a great substitute for that. Unless, of course, you wanted to go the artifice method and make the dive tank, in which case that will give you quite a bit, but it's not quite as good as pure water breathing, meaning you do not need to regain air at all for that time. So, Next up is the Thorns 2 potion. We have Shining Potion plus either Prickly Powder or Bark will give you Thorns 2 for a minute and 37. Add Redstone at that point, you get Thorns 2 for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Resistance 2 for a minute and 37. If you add Glowstone to the base recipe, you get Thorns 2 for 48 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Resistance 3 for 48 seconds. And if you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Resistance 2 for a minute and 37 seconds. Okay, next up we have Cleansing 2 potion. This is Shining Potion plus Powder Slush or Glowing Goo equals Cleansing 2 for a minute and 37 seconds. If you then add Redstone, you get Cleansing 2 for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Curse 2, which I believe is 2 random random curse effects for a minute and 37 seconds. If you add Glowstone to the base recipe, you get Cleansing 3 for 48 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Curse 3 for 48 seconds. I believe that is 3 different curses, so that's a bad time in any case. And of course, if you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Curse 2 for a minute and 37 seconds. Next up, we have the Haste 2 potion. This is a Shining Potion plus either a small healthy or a small unhealthy heart will give you Haste 2 for 9 minutes and 45 seconds. If you add Redstone at that point, you get Haste 2 for 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Very, very useful. If you plan on doing branch mining, I highly recommend you seek out this recipe. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye at that point, you get Mining Fatigue 2 for 430 seconds. If you add Glowstone to the base recipe, you get Haste 3 for 4 minutes and 52 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Fatigue 3 for a minute and 37 seconds. And if you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Fatigue 2 for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay, next up, a Jump 2 potion. A Shining Potion plus either a Rabbit's Foot or Frog's Legs or Feather will give you Jump 2 for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. If you then add Redstone, it gives you Jump 2 for 9 minutes. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Slow Fall for 9 minutes. If you then add Glowstone, you get Jump 3 for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And if you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Slow Fall for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. This is generally not a great deal at this. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, if you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Slow Fall 2 for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, next up is Strength 2 potion. This is made with a Shining Potion and a Talon or a large healthy or large unhealthy heart. Will give you Strength 2 for 6 minutes 30 seconds. Now I'm almost positive that Strength only refers to melee damage, so it will not affect your damage that you inflict through either spells or your bow. So I'm pretty sure it's only melee damage. If you add Redstone, that gives you Strength 2 for 9 minutes. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, that gives you Weakness for 9 minutes. If you add Glowstone to the base recipe, you get Strength 3 for 3 minutes 15 seconds. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Weakness for 6 minutes 30 seconds. And if you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Weakness for 6 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, Night Vision 2 potion. That's made with a Shining Potion and Antennae. It'll give you Night Vision for 13 minutes. Pretty good. If you add Redstone, it gives you Night Vision for 18 minutes. Plus Fermented Spider Eye will give you Blindness for 30 seconds. If you add Glowstone to the base recipe, you'll get, this is correct actually, you will get Invisibility for 8 minutes. 8 whole minutes of invisibility. And if you add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Blindness for 23 seconds. I'm not quite sure why those numbers are so strange, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. If you add Fermented Spider Eye to the base recipe, you get Blindness for 23 seconds. Okay, last on our little textbook here is going to be the additions to vanilla potions. In general, the Project Zulu potions are meant as an addition to the vanilla system. So that's why they use the brewing stand. And in general, there are really only one addition, but it's a good one, and it's has 2 different tiers. So tier 1. Okay, I have to apologize again. My textbook here is a little inaccurate. So, first up, we have the Incendiary 1 potion, which is Fire Resistance Potion plus Glowstone equals Incendiary 1, which is an instant. If you then add Fermented Spider Eye, you get Slowness for 4 minutes. However, Incendiary 2 potion. Now this is important. This is a fire resistant potion that has been made with a shiny bauble. So it's basically awkward potion plus shiny bauble equals shining potion plus a magma cream will give you fire resistance potion. Then you add glows into that, and you give that gives you Incendiary 2 as the instant. If you have fermented spider at that point, you get slowness 3 for 37 seconds. Okay, and that brings us to the end of our lesson on the Project Zulu potions. Yeah, gotcha for a second. Be right back. Okay, so I guess you thought that our episode on potions was going to be all, academic and everything. Well, not completely. So, I have in my hand here an Incendiary potion and Incendiary 2 potion. Let's see what happens when we throw it at this wooden target, shall we? Okay, so in the interest of science, I did in fact drink one of the Incendiary potions and actually felt no ill effects. To be honest, I was a little disappointed by that. But I went back to our chemistry lab and I added some gunpowder to these recipes. So let's see what happens when we throw a splash Incendiary potion at this wooden target. It's actually surprising. Okay, so that was a little bit disappointing. So let's try it against a live target, shall we? So splash Incendiary potion. Now this is the kind of thing I wish they would add to vanilla. Oh, could it go all the way? Wow, it actually set fire to the entire spider, all 16 damage. Okay, so let's see what happens when we try a Splash Incendiary 2 potion. Okay, it seems like the damage is the same, although I'm guessing I would guess that the duration is longer. That's my guess. So if we were to use this on a boss, it would be quite different. But unfortunately, as we just tested before, it does not set things on fire. Too bad. But not a terrible weapon. It kind of reminds me of the potion of harming, except it's a little bit more fun. So I believe that this brings us to the end of our lesson on the Project Zulu potions. So I hope you've enjoyed the first part of our two-part episode on double potions in Hexxit. I'll see you back and very shortly. Until the moment, class dismissed.